Just a bit on this show. Falcons also in OTAs today. Kevin Stefanski is their new head coach. Tommy Rees is their offensive coordinator. Matt Ryan is your president of football. But who's that starting quarterback going to be, Adam? So Tua Tagovailoa joins them. Michael Penix coming off that ACL tear. What's the latest on his recovery?
Well, he was back on the field last week for the first time in 6 months. That's an encouraging sign for his availability in the upcoming weeks and months. And so he's gradually being worked back into practice. They'll obviously be very careful with Michael Penix. And that's why they go out and get Tua Tagovailoa, two lefties to complement one another, to vie for that starting job with a new coaching staff. Remember, this is a coaching staff that did not draft Michael Penix. The front office did not draft him. They don't have any connections to him, so they'll be able to look at both those quarterbacks, Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix, and decide who gives this team the best chance to win, along with all those other notable offensive acquisitions during the offseason. They've gone out, they put their stamp on this roster, and now we wait to see which quarterback seizes control of that starting job.
I mean, Tim, their schedule is less than taxing, at least how it looks right now. How do you see this quarterback situation potentially playing out in Atlanta?
You know, look, I would be uncomfortable about it if I was Atlanta. And, you know, Adam's right. You know, this regime isn't tied to Penix, but he's only going into year 3. And so I think because of where he was drafted, I think the upside of potential, the notion would be that Penix is going to be the starter when he's healthy. Then you look at Tua's deal. Tua's deal wasn't such that it was true competition for a guy that was a first-round pick, but at the same time, he's only a few years removed from, leading the league in passing in terms of yards. And so then you look at that, and then you look at Tua, and you say he's only started an entire season one time in his career because his injuries, have been many. So, look, I think it's a very concerning situation. And I think if you're Kevin Stefanski, who really had a pretty good team outside of the quarterback play in Cleveland, you have to be thinking, look, I need to do everything in my power to not have a scenario like that happen again, because the talent around the quarterback in Atlanta is outstanding. They just need to get consistent, good quarterback play, and unfortunately they have two guys that just haven't been able to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to highlight. And then I want to go through the schedule. Atlanta Falcons fan asked me to make a Falcons video, and I definitely want to make sure that I can do that, because you guys know that I try my best to do all the teams that I possibly can. And but before we really jump into it, Atlanta Falcons fans, please do not forget to subscribe and watch the full length of the video. When you guys do that, views go through the roof. Subscribers go through the roof. And it's not about chasing views. It's not about chase subscribers. It's about being able to create Atlanta Falcons content that people genuinely want to watch and discuss, so we can have honest, grounded, unbiased conversations about the Atlanta Falcons. Because they're obviously not a team that schedule gets released and everyone's flocking to be like, let's talk about the Falcons. And I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to offer that to everyone, and I want to be able to make the videos in a way that people are there to discuss. People are there to actually have conversations. Right now, the comments section is just through the absolute roof. The percentage of comments per view is second to no other channel that I've personally come across. Like, it is absolutely insane. We are having the best conversations on all of YouTube. And it's not really an exaggeration. It's insane to say. I'm uncalm. Forteable even saying it, 'cause it's like, who do you think you are? But like, it's crazy, man. And it's because of you. It's because of you guys actually like commenting and engaging and having back and forth conversations, and so just trying my best to make sure that this continues to be that place for everyone to share their views. But even just the additions that they added, I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, these are great acquisitions. Not to mention what you already had to begin with. And so it's just, you really do just need average quarterback play, but consistent quarterback play. That's all you actually need, and you're going to win a lot of games. Like you're genuinely going to be competitive. And the fascinating thing about Tua is over the last 3 seasons, he's actually had the highest completion percentage in the NFL. So there is a way to win with Tua. There is a way to win with Tua. And if he can stay healthy, I do believe you can get flavors of what he was able to do in his like he was an MVP candidate. He was an MVP candidate right up until they got rocked by the Baltimore Ravens and then Lamar ended up winning the MVP. But it was a genuine debate at that time. Absolutely a genuine debate. And so like you can do damage with Tua, but as you guys know, I am also a genuine believer of Michael Penn Jr. now. The injuries disrupt all of that and it is tough, but I loved what I saw out of him his rookie year, his second year. Everything was just such a mess all over the place. And so I'm not going to hold his feet to the fire. But do I think that they could hit the ground running potentially more quickly with a Tua? I do. But I'm also absolutely fascinated to see what Penn looks like with Stefanski, but I'd like him to be fully healthy and going through everything, learning a new offense, working with new pieces. Like, he doesn't have that experience. He doesn't have that foundation to fall back on. And that is why Tua has a major advantage. Dub has been in the league for years now. Like he's even been in a playoff game, right? Like he's played big games. Like he's been around the block in a way that Penix at this point simply has not. And Tua even just in the NFL has now been with multiple offenses, multiple variations of his own individual team in a way that Penix just simply has not. And so when you combine that with coming off of an injury as well, it is a messier situation than you would want. And I am a firm believer in acknowledging those things. I'll get a more favorable, pause. There you go. So sorry about that, Hasselback. But yeah, I still think at the end of the day, really all they need is just average consistent quarterback play and a lot of damage can be done here. There is a lot of because also just think of someone like a Bijan Robinson where he's such a monster obviously right that's the most. Lukewarm take ever said he's a monster he's a beast but it's so much harder to really unlock him if you don't have again just consistent you just need consistently consistent quarterback but it doesn't have to be consistently awesome. It doesn't even have to be consistently good. It just has to be consistently average. And you just can't keep randomly dipping into just awfulness, right? And if you do that, like even that alone is going to allow some of the weapons that you already have that have shown like pretty I don't even want to say potential because they've shown what they can do over stretches. It's just like you put that all together like to me this is a team with Stefanski as well that like perfectly shows you the examples of like oh look what happens when you have M. Jones on like a more functional team with a better coach like oh look what happens when you have Daniel Jones with like a functional team with some weapons around him you're like oh look you can win a lot of games you can be actually quite competitive you can actually like kind of be in a bit of a duel like we saw with Penn against the Bills, right? Like you were in that game. You were winning that game. You were controlling that game. And it's not like you could point and say Penn was playing out of his mind. Like that wasn't the story of that game. It was just like, no, you got pretty good quarterback play. You got some pretty good. Pretty consistent play quarter to quarter, drive to drive. And shockingly enough, you put your team and your playmakers in positions to be the playmakers that they are. But then you have other games when it was just like I don't know what you're doing right now like against the 49ers or against, can't think of another game off top of my head right now. And you're just like what is this? Like what is this? Get some consistent play like against the Commanders and it's like yeah this is what this can be. And then when you get great quarterback play, think about it like what you got with Kirk Cousins, whether it was against the Bucks or whether it was against the Rams and like you saw the magic there. Like there was legitimate magic there and that opened up the floodgates for whether it be Pitts, whether it be B.J. Robinson, like it opened up the floodgates for like legendary performances by these players by again the playmakers that you have. So like average consistent quarterback play opens up the door for some great performances from your playmakers. And then great quarterback play opens up the floodgates for them to literally have like career highs, season high, whatever. Like just literally like unbelievable performances. Like objectively awesome performances, and that's a fascinating prospect to be in. A fascinating situation to be in, that you just need average quarterback play and you have the playmakers that a lot of it is going to pop. And on the flip side, if you get like good to great quarterback play, then you're really of it. It's just like you just can't be terrible. You just can't be terrible. You just can't be inconsistent. Inconsistency, talk about this all the time. Inconsistency is one of the most brutal things out there because you don't know what to expect. It's so hard. It's so hard to coach. It's so hard for the players to build around, like just nobody actually knows what's going on when you have inconsistency. You just don't know where you are. And that is what the Atlanta Falcons were last year. They were so inconsistent. You just had no idea what you were going to get. And that is a brutal existence. It's so hard for anyone to get settled. It's so hard for the coaching staff to call plays. And again, I blame the coaching staff. So, this isn't to say that the coaching staff is free from blame here, but it's just hard everywhere. The defense doesn't know what to expect of the offense. The offense doesn't know what to expect of the defense. The O-line doesn't really know what they're fighting for. The D-line doesn't really know what they're trying to get after. Like, it's just all over the place. The play caller doesn't really know what play to dial up in this moment. It just like I keep saying, I've said this a lot I think today, like it gets weird quick. It gets weird quick. So that's what's so fascinating about like a Tua and a Penix. Just don't be bad. Just you have two quarterbacks. Just don't be bad and this team will be competitive. This team will be competitive. I mean week 1 against the Steelers. Love that as a week 1 game. Week 2 against the Panthers. Again, full disclosure, I'm excited about what the Panthers can do. But again, at home should be a competitive game. And if you are who I think you can be, it's like, okay, great. Week 2, get after it. Packers be a competitive game, but you also get to play the Packers now. I don't think Michael Parsons will be back by September 24th, huge advantage for you. I don't even know if Kraft is going to be back there by then either. Big advantage, especially if that's not there. Perfect time to play the Packers. Saints will be another interesting competitive divisional game. Ravens definitely be a tough divisional, obviously not divisional game but a tough game there. The Bears will be a fascinating game. The 49ers people are very much tossing and turning who they think the 49ers are going to be this year. I don't think they're going to be a bad team by any stretch of the imagination, but I expected the Falcons to be able to beat the 49ers last year and they disappointed me. I was confident that they were going to win that game and they embarrassed me, the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm still mad about it and I still, I still haven't forgiven you all for that. And then the Bucks, Bucks fans are really do not like me because I just am not a big believer in Baker Mayfield. So, again, at the bare minimum, I like the Falcons being able to split into the division. And so if you split in the division and you win at least a couple of these earlier, 2 or 3 of these early games right there, that's 4 or 5 wins and then you're in the interesting territory with a team like the Bengals and the Chiefs. Have the Chiefs actually bounced back? Are the Bengals healthier at this point? It's November 8th. It's like, is Joe Burrow still playing? I hope he is, honestly. But who honestly actually knows? Then you have the Vikings again. I mean, these next 3 games are honestly probably 3 of the most fascinating games because it's like Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They're either Super Bowl contenders or something. It's Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Something's going wrong. Injuries, defense is trash, whatever. The Chiefs, it's like, who actually are the Chiefs in 2026? Everybody is really confident in one direction. They're back. The dynasty is here. They're ready to pop. Nope. It's over. Mahomes is declining. Sorry. And then you have the Vikings and it's like it's a who's who quarterback Kyler Murray. It could be Kyler Murray. It could be Carson Wentz and it could be J.J. McCarthy by November 29th. And so it's like again that's a who's who situation. Lions I think will be competitive. Browns, I like the Falcons over the Browns. And then you have the Commanders. I'm very optimistic about the Commanders, about Jaden Daniels, but I still can't really fully commit to what they're doing from a coaching perspective in this moment of time. So, I think that could be a more competitive game and then you close out with 3 straight divisional games. So, it's just like depending how you fare in the division and then depending on, one if you could take advantage of some of these earlier games, right? If you can lean on a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you take advantage of a team like the Green Bay Packers who might not be full strength quite yet, right? If you're a team that can actually leverage those advantages and lean on the disadvantages of some of these other teams and actually be competitive in the division, right? And actually win games when they matter, not near the end of the season when it doesn't actually matter. You could be these final 3 games it's like you could be in a situation where it's just like win 2 of the next 3 games in the division and you win the division, right? Like I could easily see the Falcons be in this situation where it's like, okay, you win 2 of these next 3 games, of your final 3 games of the season, you could be the division winner right there. This division is going to be fascinating. And just the sheer fact that these final 3 games are all amongst each other. Are pretty much mean it's pretty much the NFL saying what I'm saying. They're saying, yeah, it's you guys are all going to be battling it out with each other right now. And so we're just going to make these final few weeks like we're going to make every single one of these games matter for each other. Which is pretty cool. Honestly, normally I don't like the way when it's structured that way, but considering how this has unfolded over these last couple of years, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And I actually really I've grown to really be entertained by this division at this point. You know, again, full disclosure, this division just drove me nuts. And it was an automatic like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to sit through a game like this. That started changing. And I think this division is going to be, I think this division will surprise a lot of people. And I think just even from an entertainment perspective, I think a lot of these games, I think the Falcons are going to be involved in a lot of entertaining games, right? Again, I don't know if they're going to come out with all the wins and then all of that and then bring it home, but I think at the bare minimum, these games are genuinely going to be entertaining. And we saw glimpses of that. We saw stretches of that last year. Just don't be bad at quarterback. That's it. That's it. Just don't be bad, man. Just don't be bad. That's all. It's all you got to do. Just don't be bad. Just don't be bad and you're golden. And you're golden. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Atlanta Falcons? How do you feel about their quarterback situation? Do you agree with what I'm saying about just don't be bad and that they'll be able to actually really take advantage of the pieces that they have? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get to some discussions. Let's get to some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.